But Nekongo, I think we thought we are taking 3 people, but the questions are actually a lot. But also, while you are answering the questions, sometimes we expect those who are in front to know all the answers, but it's not necessarily the case. We also have young professionals and those who are also engaged in business or whatever activities. So if you feel there's a question that currently was not provided here, we can have another round just to maybe add on a bit. If you can shorten it quick, just to give more clarity. Maybe you are working in that ministry or you are engaged in that, you just give clarity. So, Nekongo, please.
Thank you very much. Let me also acknowledge the comment that have come in. The chair, we also recognize comment Tinda, comment Malong. Thank you for coming. I will answer some. And just to first one, Community Angola, just to establish that relationship is very important. I'll give it further to my Secretary of Labour when I answer some of them that I feel I will answer, then she can deal with many of them. I will leave almost the relationship things she will answer. The employment policy at the Ministry of Labour, I think she also answered that. The minimum wage bill, I think we are all in support. Thank you that maybe we need just to strengthen ourselves so that we can push it to parliamentarian. I know there was a motion that was introduced by Comrade Nekundi, but it's there catching dust. So we need just to see how do we assist them to make sure that that becomes a law. Demolitions of people's houses. I think what I learned, I must not say shacks, but people's houses. Comrade, as much as you are disappointed, we are the first people that are disappointed in this. I spoke about City of Windhoek without any personal attachment, that we have councillors, that we have voted for, but they are failing to provide these services that we need. Now, yes, we saw the intervention of the president. I think we must salute that. However, in our own right, we must also say the envisaged solution is also over-ambitious. I want us also to look at the issue of shack, you said people houses, but I must just indicate that. We must also not look at in isolation with urban migrations and also vis-a-vis unemployment. Because at one point I feel if we can provide employment in a federal Lunga where I come from, I will feel I will not come to Benin, but I will stay there. So we need to look at it from both sides. People are pushed to come here because of employment that we are, opportunity that we are seeking. We find ourselves here, there's nowhere we stay. The only cheapest method we can is get something and then put our house there. And then at the end of the day, the City of Windhoek or any other local authority will say, well, you are there illegal. But in the meantime, I will say, if I'm here illegal, can you then provide solution? You must not just say, no, please leave. You are illegal here. But at least you must say, okay, you are illegal here, we understand your concern. This is where we are putting. I think we have to force these people to understand this situation. So I think that's bad. With immediate effect, I think we have made our call. Maybe, I think that's the time that we need to be radical. To say, and I don't want to copy our brother from here, because sometimes they are the one, I find, I'm saying it confidently, sometimes they are saying, when the issue of that poor kids who died, I felt bad. Because we are saying, no, don't move. But when somebody died, we'll be the first to go and say, no, we must give support. These people, sometimes we must also not do that. If you are at the wrong place and people are saying, move, maybe piece of also for us to save life. We must also look at both sides. But we must call on these colleagues, honestly speaking, to provide solutions. And all what I normally say is that they must not demolish, but they must discuss and discuss until they find a solution without demolishing. But yes, City of Windhoek will tell them, they will tell you, yes, we are just doing our job. So it's now up to Comrade Emmanuel to see if we can repeal that law. I think you put it correctly. You talk about the very important things, which is a discussion of our next meeting tomorrow. It's true, the money in this country is being shipped up. We must all agree. I must give you a scenario. A Chinese company that got a work here, and they are paying with Standard Bank. And they were paid, I think it's around about 200 million. The colleague of mine had the service with them, provide training, and he was also demanding his payment. Now, okay, within our connection that we have, our sister sometime working in the bank to just find out, are they paid? I tell you, the 200 million went in that bank account today. The next morning, we are told there's only 5 million out of 200 million. So now you ask yourself, yes, maybe they want to service their issue, but I think the honest opinion here is that the money goes out. That's the reality. And I think as young people, we must now provide leadership and say, if we need to provide solutions, policy formulation for us to protect them, let's do it. If they are there and they are not being applied, we must ask ourselves why. So I think that one I will agree. Yes, that money from what bank, I don't know what bank that bank, it got condition that is not favorable to ourselves. And I think all of us, we must unite and say no to it. Either we forget about that development and they must take their money back, or they must reduce those restrictions. Where in this country, apparently the company that must at least have apparently 500 and something million, they must have a cash flow of 50 million per month. Which company in Namibia? Which company? And these things are done by our people. Sometimes you ask ourselves and say, but why? So I think that one, the Secretary for Economic Affairs is here. It's a discussion of tomorrow. I think immediately after tomorrow's NEC will provide what will be our decisions on this issue. I think we need to stand firm on it, and we can't compromise. Just like I said, we can't compromise with our workers. I said the governor must apologize, or we'll talk about it. We must do it the same. We can also not compromise ourselves with these comrades from China. It must be a win-win situation. They say they are all weather friendly to us. It must be all weather friendly solution to ourselves. So I think on that, I will say I did justice, but I will give much relationship to my secretary late. Pedro, I think it's true. Government will not create employment. But government must create a conducive environment for business, for private sector to come in to absorb majority of us. Now, I think we must all agree that the issue of our SME bank has brought this gap. These colleagues of ours that have stolen the money from DBN, and not DBN, but SME bank, yes, we must demand that we are told what happened. I know the investigation continues, but I think that brought up a big gap. That's why we don't have access to funding. And I think I'll also answer my colleague Kaino there the other way. So, in the other way, what we have been calling is to say, in absence of SME bank, by the way, it was our resolution as well, in absence of SME bank, I think government should create another entity within development bank to cater for that gap, so that our people can access funding. Yes, the issue of free collateral or whatever, I think that we still want that free collateral. But what I'm also telling you, my brothers and sisters, what I have observed lately, because of these recessions and the work that is not there, our business people are losing their property. I don't know whether you see it. Some of them, they make mockery of it. Because this one is Team Arambe, we must expose them. This one is Team SWAPO, we must expose them. Our business people, as we speak, if you go in newspapers, they are losing their properties because they can't service their loan. So it's something that we also look at, critical. Some, maybe they didn't, spend money well, maybe they bought the Vurupa or whatever. But I see that our business are also frustrated because of this economic recession. That's why when I was talking about, I said the economy is kind of suffocating. Honestly, I feel Honorable Kale must at least open up a little bit. Let's have those to work operating. Let's those roads and clinic and whatever, so that our people at least are flexible. That's what I feel. But economists, you will advise better. The devil clock. When I came in the office, I found out that SWAPO Party Youth League is supposed to set up this pharmaceutical company. Said not, we are even servicing loans of money, we don't know where it went. That company was, I don't know what happened. But the purpose was to transform this devil's claw or whatever into product that we're supposed to sell. So I'm happy now to hear that it's still here. Maybe I think I'll challenge my Secretary for Economic Affairs also to see that opportunity is available, so that we see how do we make sure that those, it's part and parcel of all the raw materials that we don't want them exported without value being added. So I think that is just an eye-opener. We'll look at it. The youth into agriculture, I agree with you. If you go to Etunda, if you go to other green schemes, some of the green schemes are not even operating as we speak. I travel to almost all of them. If you see them, those that are doing well is those that are doing wheat and maize. But also, the problem is also that those guys that we are supporting, sorry for me to use that word, those Namibian mills and whatever that we are supporting with food bank, they are not even buying our maize. They stockpile their maize here, and when those people, when our colleagues come and sell, they will say, no, your maize is not yet milled, wait, we'll pay you later. We have a problem there, which we also need to see how we solve, so that at least our people, must be able to benefit. But your questions is understood, and I think since I'm an agricultural person that I talk about every day, we'll see how we unlock those potentials that are there. We see at the moment, you see green schemes that are not doing anything. If young people can be empowered, they must take over. Then we can be able to cut, and then just demand that the food bank must buy from us. And also food bank, people must not just get money for, not money, but must not just get food like that. They must go and work. Otherwise, we are just creating dependency cycle. The Khomas green scheme, the model which we have put up is that will only be, we'll donate it to 4 people. And we ask your leadership to identify those 4 people. 2 women, 2 men. During the process when we are setting up, they will be trained. And what we are going to do is set it up for them. They will start producing, maybe they will sell even at the office and other offices, those vegetables. And what will happen, that money goes to them. And they own that, they will own up that thing. Now it's temporary, what we felt we must put it at the office. They will use the water here, and then we'll see how they will pay that water. And then at the end of the day, they create their revenue, and at the end of the day, we are going to make sure that belongs to them. Even if in future, maybe they found a plot, and we want to put it up there, they will put it up there. What is important to us is to demonstrate to the Minister of Agriculture and said, it will cost you little to put up this, and if you put it up for many people, it will work. Project, we must not support projects. They will not work. That's why we even say 4 people. Because what we have seen is that since independence, people have been given resources to the project, but these projects are not sustainable. And I must also tell you that as we speak, I even told your leadership, we have money that is being wasted every year. Be it Ministry of Gender, they give equipment, the local, the regional council give equipment. I'm a testimony of that. We know this thing. But in all honesty, if you go out in all district or constituency, you just see a post, maybe a fence. But we spend money, and every year, I think each regional council, maybe they see around about 500,000. But we are saying, can that 500 be utilized for something alone? Not to say 20,000, 10,000, 5,000. Those things are not sustainable, but we keep wasting government money. So project, no, let's talk about business. Capital to start up. I think I want the leadership to look into this issue of 121 youth enterprise development. I think it's through National Youth Council, the Ministry of Youth. I think we need to look at these things. And I saw also another program at the Ministry of Agriculture that I'm fighting, and I think that dialogue is also coming, the consultative is also coming. When it comes to Khomas, they said they will invite me. Let's also go on it. Because there's a 1.4 billion that I think is coming also from those there, from aid for agriculture. But what I see there, our elder want to buy tractor and what, but there's allocation of 1.4 billion. I think let's be on lookout so that we can go and contribute to that discussion to make sure that that money be utilized optimally. What I have seen personally, I felt the elder just want to get the retirement package because they want to buy tractor, they want to buy the honey, all those things. But I said, why are we not talking about maybe 121 people to say, can that enterprise now be given even a borehole machine? They go and drill water.